I'm not drinking the MCU Kool-Aid anymore. I am delivered. I'm not taking your post-credit scenes no more. This movie had one big problem, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. It felt empty. To my senses, I know what it was. This film has issues, but it's not horrible as a Madam Web. It's not a Secret Invasion. It's not a She-Hulk. And I even said in my review, I don't believe this movie sets this universe back at all. But there's something that is a reoccurring problem in these MCU films, and I think that people are starting to feeling it when I felt it about 4 movies earlier. I see everything. I took the red pill. I'm out of the Matrix. I'm out of the House of Mouse. I see it for what it is.
The movie is enjoyable, but there are a lot of issues with this film. As I said, good parts for me, talking about the positives, I liked a lot of the performances within this film. Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, Joaquin Phoenix, Harrison Ford, especially as Thunderbolt Ross, they gave good performance. I don't think there's really any character in here that I could say really gave a lukewarm performance. If anything, you feel like there's probably something missing from some because of those reshoots, but I think everybody definitely gave a really good performance, especially Anthony Mackie, even though I think that, was this the right film for him? I don't know. But again, that wise, I liked how for the most part it stayed grounded, and I liked how it was trying to tie some loose ends to things that have been left a little ambiguous for a while. But then that goes to my negatives. The reshoots 100% hurt this movie. And I say that in the sense of this movie was one way. Hell, it had other cast members in it as well. And then because of either the early test screenings or because of certain backlash against one character, even though they said it wasn't that character, but whatever, or just whatever other factors may be, or hell, even marketing and some things that maybe shouldn't have been shown so much, this film felt disconjointed. There are parts of this that you're like, okay, I can see, and then there are other parts that you can clearly feel were added in or that were put in for a different context, or this was supposed to go one way but it ended up going a different way because of the reshoots, or certain characters were added in and you're like, oh right, yeah, you're in this movie. And it's just this movie's trying to juggle a lot. It's trying to be the 4th Captain America movie while technically also being the first Sam Wilson Captain America movie, while also being a sort of sequel to The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as well as being a sort of continuation from Eternals and a continuation from The Incredible Hulk, and also, just sprinkling other stuff from the past Avengers movies, that needs to be addressed and all that stuff.
You can be objectively, honest about this film. But at the same time, I'm also going against people who are just, because the critics gave it a low score, that you just go on and say, oh my God, I love this movie. And oh my God, you got your critics. You don't know nothing until we do, you don't agree with us until you do. Right. And now all of a sudden, oh yeah, this is why you should not listen to critics and all blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Knowing that there's been a shift for critics to understand in terms of quality, because every time people combat this, I always see people bringing up the Rotten Tomatoes score from Thor: Love and Thunder, the Rotten Tomatoes score from She-Hulk, the Rotten Tomatoes score from Doctor Strange and other stuff like that, right? And they're showing all these things, even from Secret Invasion, whatever. You're seeing all these Rotten Tomatoes, and people so these critics knew what they were talking about, right? And I think a lot of people don't understand the space of critics were. At the time, in terms of critic scores, you cannot compare using past Rotten Tomato scores to justify now, because the standard of films have changed, and also our grace period for MCU films have diminished. Regardless, when you have 1 or 2 outliers like a Deadpool Wolverine, like a Guardians of the Galaxy 3, like a No Way Home, those outliers do not impact all the other minutia you have. Your Secret Invasion, the Marvels, your Quantumanias, your She-Hulks, all that stuff. the plot holes in Multiverse of Madness, all those things wrapped up into those things. Why am I talking about Captain America? Because the spirit of Captain America, of this character Sam Wilson, what was supposed to be in this movie was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus show. And I'm saying after rewatching that show, I'm saying not to saying that what the events that transpired in that show was a mistake. I'm saying the show itself was a mistake, because some of those points and story beats they hit in that show, I would have want them to hit in the movie, and they don't. You don't have no memorable score. I can remember the score they had in Falcon and Winter Soldier of him in the Louisiana Hero. I remember that score to this day. You have cinematic moments of him showing struggle and him becoming Captain America, right? Him training with the shield, him taking the shield off from John Walker with the help of Bucky and everything, washing the shield with blood of the person he just murdered. You're talking about a black man as Captain America, having the Isaiah Bradley moment, give him the statue. Those elements and those themes that were impactful in that show should have been in this movie. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. These Disney Plus shows, even though they connect cinematically, a lot of people are not watching these shows. Movies matter. And you felt that, which is why when people have so much frustration, like, do you not want Falcon Winter Soldier? Hold up now. That show, those 6 episodes had heart, had humanity, had the identity of who Sam Wilson is and everything like that. And yet this movie was almost the fat of what they were doing in that show with no seasoning, which is why people said it's all right, but you can take it or leave it. That's what was missing from this movie. The spirit of the Disney Plus show of Falcon and Winter Soldier and some of the themes that they did. I'm not saying that was a mistake because you can't go change the past. But, and I'm not going to use the excuse when people say, well, that show has 6 hours. This is 2 hours. No. There's just story points that was like, oh, I love what they did in Falcon Winter Soldier, but those moments that they didn't give me those moments or even better in this movie. And that's the problem. And that's why you have the emotional outcry of people like, oh, you guys know what you're talking about. You just haters. And then even like I have folks calling us raccoons. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we're talking about this film and everything, us in our community as black people, this is my thing. Because I'm so passionate about our image, you understand when we have this moment like this and being in theaters and when there are actually some decent things in this movie that but because of lack of either reshoots or the laziness of tying this everything together, or just the pure recklessness of storytelling and not having the glue to make this all into something good and making it great, to me that's frustrating. It makes me more upset than ain't Madam Web, than ain't Craven, because they weren't trying to be good movies. This movie was, which is why I apply pressure and then why I'm passionate about this when I talk about my review, because Marvel Studios, they do this over and over and over and over again in these past recent films. And because when everyone say, oh, Deadpool Wolverine saved the MCU, no, you can't judge Deadpool Wolverine's success as, oh, MCU is heading on a good track. You have to judge this movie, you have to judge Thunderbolts, you have to judge Fantastic Four, because those are the films you have to see how Marvel is actually moving forward in the right direction in terms of their narrative storytelling. And when this movie, only the safest thing is this movie doesn't set the universe back, as I mentioned, but there's plot holes in here. There's issues here when I'm questioning, hey, they didn't watch the Falcon and Winter Soldier show because like, oh, I should have taken the serum. I think Steve was wrong. I'm like, bro, you spent 6 episodes talking about you being Captain America, and all of a sudden, I don't even hear this crap no more about I should have taken the serum. You think Steve was wrong? I'm like, bro. And I'm like, in the show, and it doesn't help when the show came out 3 years ago. Like, I was like, you know what I mean?
You bringing up that is like, yeah, I 100% agree in saying that. Again, Falcon Winter Soldier is one of my favorite of the Marvel Disney Plus shows, because that thing had a lot of heart, it had a lot of substance, and it was a great continuation from the moment in Endgame of Sam taking the shield and the progression within those 6 episodes to him becoming Captain America. But as you said, not a lot of people are watching these shows. Yes, that's attributed to, you know, them not being marketed outside of, you know, interviews or outside of you know, just the trailers. Like they like how DC has marketed their comics at the end of a trailer that you would see in theaters. Probably would be better for Marvel to market their shows as well, but they're not doing that. But besides that point, the show had a lot in it, and when you look at the movie, you're like, okay, I see it, but it's like there's a lot of stuff that I would have liked to, like maybe some of those points that were in Falcon Winter Soldier, like why Sam is the way he is as Captain America, or why this matters to him and would matter to someone like Isaiah Bradley. Because for those going into this movie, when Isaiah Bradley shows up for the first time and you didn't see that show, you're like, who is that? And then you find out, you're muted, and then you find out that, you know, he also has the super soldier serum, and you're just like, well, where the fuck did that come from? And it's like, oh, you didn't watch the show. It's like, what show? It's moments like that you're just like, yeah, see, it's not on the people, it's more on both not advertising that these things exist, but also just having these story beats that were there be applied into here in a natural, cohesive way. Because I love the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show a lot, but this movie, it's like it's missing those moments that humanized some of the characters and made the conflict, like that show felt grounded. And while this movie feels grounded, not on the same level as that.
What I like about this film, for one, is, yeah, you mentioned about the reshoots, because we'll talk about this. Giancarlo Esposito was absolutely wasted in this movie. First of all, this whole notion like, oh, who am I playing? Am I playing Magneto? Am I playing Professor X and all stuff like that? And we were at Comic-Con when you say, I am playing the leader of the Serpent Society, no, Sidewinder, whatever, right? Yelling and everything. And I'm like Jamal Hansu from Guardians of the Galaxy. Who? Like, you know, like, you know, and stuff. But then we get into this movie, and he's completely at he completely added character. It's not even about the knowing about these reshoots. It's showing just like how he was placed in this film, right? Because you had also other secondary characters, a part of the Serpent Society, that was in this movie who got cut out, and like completely. And it was clear as day if you're watching this, because then you have characters he's fighting the first half, and like this one dude was cut his sheet, like his
vibranium suit,
and I'm like, and me and Lucas are like, wait, but how did he cut? He got vibranium and stuff, and then he knocks his guys out. We never seen this dude ever again. I was like, and in my head, I'm like, okay, what? Like, was that adamantium? It's like, are they gonna connect that story point? No. Not having the suit, you know, not no serum to fight this and stuff. Like throwing the shield and everything. There were just certain things. Just he was grabbing cinder blocks. Like what the, like, you know, and beating. I'm like, wait, hold up. You know, they're like, come on. And this is the thing. Like Captain America, Steve Rogers, he can throw the shield because he has super soldier serum, and he can, like, yes, I understand his light and his vibranium, and he can throw it harder, which makes it, you know, more, you know, of a punch impact. Black Panther, he has a vibranium suit, but he has the heart-shaped herb that increases his human physique and might as well be super soldier serum, but in a different capacity, right? But yet, when you make this Falcon, Captain America, Black Panther hybrid, and suspect that this dude is supposed to stop a freaking flagpole that's being swung by the Red Hulk, you think I'm supposed to be like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, whoa, wait. Like, he's just stopping it with his bare hands. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Like, you know?
Like, and the whole thing is like, yes, he's wearing a vibranium suit. Yes, he's had time to master his skills as Captain America throughout that Falcon Winter Soldier show, but he's still human. It's not like his comic book counterpart where he does have a little bit of, you know, strength and, you know, his connection to a psychic bird named Red Wing versus, you know, the automatic one here. It's not like that. He's a human within the MCU. And look, even I don't want him to take the serum, but it's like, how?
Like stopping a flagpole that was thrown. Like, I mean, it was clear as day on top of the White House, right? Neil Blonsky, the Abomination, when he was just human form and he took this a quote unquote super soldier serum, because, you know, you want to tie it to Incredible Hulk and all stuff, which we'll get into that. But like when he got stomp kicked by the Hulk, That was the most realistic shit ever in the MCU. I was waiting for him to do that in this movie. Hey,
yeah,
Ross,
he has the
the sun is getting
has,
real low. And Ross
he has the
like,
popcorn bucket.
oh.
It says something that the most realistic thing was when Joaquin got blown out the sky and had to get taken to the hospital instantly.
Like instantly, right? I was like, but then now that's also another emotional element too, because you have another person playing the Falcon, right? Which I have no issue with the character. I mean, you know, Joaquin Torres, whatever. But I'm like, you know, we got a black Captain America, and we got Mexican Falcon, right? Now, how do we jump through all this from him just now having the suit, knowing how to operate it? Now he calls himself Falcon, and it's like, are we just supposed to be okay with this? Because this thing. You want to add an emotional level to this? He's a grief counselor. When he got shot down, right? If you do, there's a shot in this movie of, you know, of his personal stuff, his cap. There was a picture of the dude, of his wingman that got killed, right? When he talked about Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, would be interesting the fact of like, hey, you actually seen this kid, whatever, trying to become Falcon in this movie. Now not saying that he can't be Falcon, but like you see him becoming Falcon and Sam being reluctant about it because it's like, listen, it's not that I haven't, you know, worked with, you know, a partner before. I mean, I've worked alongside Captain America. I've been part of a team. I've been part of the Avengers. But the last time I had a wingman who had the same abilities I had, he died. He got shot, you know, out and I'm reluctant because I don't want to put somebody in the same position now that I'm in a new position as Captain America. And to me, like, you know, you being a grief counselor, everybody else, what is your grief? You know, like, so that's a whole nother element. When Cap lost Bucky in First Avenger, and what that element add to that. So like those things, it has nothing to do with about Steve Rogers. It has nothing to do with that. It's just turned to how you write Captain America. Like in Civil War, him dropping the shield. Right, you know, well, after he was done fighting Tony, him dropping the shield in front of Bucky, said, I'm not gonna fight you, you're my friend. Even before he even has the serum, and like he takes the flagpole and able to, you know, grab the flag and everything and beat everybody else when they're just trying to use their brute force, trying to climb and get it, right? That's a Captain America thing to do, and yet you didn't have that in this movie, but yeah, you had it in Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? So there was moments of that feeling of when Falcon was just throwing the shield with Bucky and talking, you know, like that. You think that's so simple, but that is such a powerful scene that should be in the cinema, right? So that level of emotional weight is supposed to be in a cinematic film, not on a Disney Plus show. I understand the circumstances of time, but that's why I'm saying when I'm saying this movie's average at best and it's bland, is because there is no heart in this movie whatsoever. And I'm sorry, Thunderbolt Ross, because Harrison Ford, yeah, you gave a great performance. I thought he was decent. I thought, you know, he's one of the good parts about this movie. But I'm sorry, you look at the cherry blossoms about Betty Ross and stuff. I'm sorry, that was 16 years ago. I have not seen Betty Ross for 16 years. Black Widow, who's a character in the comics, right?
Sabra, yeah.
Okay, that's right. So it was correct. Marvel changed it and actually like, all right, you know what? We're just gonna make her a Israeli. We'll keep her Israeli, but we just make her a former Black Widow. That could have been interesting to make things more canon, but still, you gave this woman a super suit and you had it in the movie, but you hid it in the movie. You had it in the posters, and you see her wearing the jacket. Like, come on, bro.
Like in terms of my real work, I've seen that. In terms of like what I do outside of this, I've seen that poster a billion times, and nowhere within that movie, except for like maybe a teeny bit in one part, do you see her wear a suit. Like, do you see her wear the super suit? You see her wear like this blue-black jacket at one point when she ends up siding with Samuel Joaquin, but you never see her in the suit. And it's another thing of like the changing, either because of audience reception towards real life situations or because of the reshoots. It's another one of those things that feels like, I didn't hate her character, but I felt like there was a lot more that they were trying to do with her.
If you make her a Black Widow, but like at least make it believable. You know how tiny she is, and she's just like and toppling 5 freaking soldiers, like doing like, you know, somersaults around the the corner and everything. I'm just like, and just flipping dudes like that's like 3 times her size. She ain't got no serum. I'm like, this, like what?
No.
Yeah, But now one thing I was talking about was to say the positive. We talked about Thunderbolt Ross, right? I like the connectivity they had with the Incredible Hulk in the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
The first 5 minutes, how they go back to what happened, and I think it was either Chicago or whatever. But acknowledge the fact of the Abomination, how he aided in that, and that the media is calling him, you are the Hulk Hunter, and people are like, no, we don't. And in his years now, he's an Avenger. Bruce Banner now is he's basically the reason we could save everybody from the planet and the universe. He snapped them back and stuff. So he is pardoned. He's not even negative publicity. And the only thing is this to Ross, who was hunting him. Now he's trying to run for president. Now I thought you have the most hilarious shot in this entire movie. So in my non-spoiler review, you
talk about it.
So you knew what I was talking about, like the fact that they gave him the mustache in this scene and try and make him look younger, and like him just being angry general like Ross and stuff. But I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And it's like, I can't believe you guys did that. But it was funny to at least have that, because it just makes sense and just could turn to canon and everything. But
that moment when you go to like Ross, I guess post the events of Incredible Hulk, like just angry on there, and I see Harrison Ford with the mustache. I'm like, y'all did not do that. Y'all did not just do it. I had to hold myself back from laughing for a good minute.
It was just it was stupid. It was like stupid, but that's like stupid. Like, I let it slide. I let it slide.
Yeah. I let it slide, but that was
you know
stupid.
What I mean?
I understand why. But I understand why. But it's like, I'd rather take the de-aged Harrison Ford photo that they had with him and Betty over that.
Right. Yeah. That was intentionally trying to be a joke. With that. But
I don't even hate Red Hulk being in this movie whatsoever. But again, it's like, you showed too much. You showed way too much.
Like, you can clip. I said in the trailers, you can clip in all the TV spots. You can clip in the entire amount of time he's in this movie, by the trailers alone. But another thing, too, was also how it ended. Right now, again, every cool thing doesn't need to come from Wakanda. I get it. I understand. But you having this energy, repelling wings and stuff, and they teased this with Red Hulk because when he got out of his clothes, it was burning. But yet they didn't play off the fact that he overheats, right?
Right. The whole difference between Hulk and Red Hulk is that, like, Hulk has gamma, Red Hulk is more of like a fire thing. I mean, you've seen the Hulk take on big threats like this, and it's like Red Hulk, who's more fiery and more like somehow has a little bit more rage than the regular, can get. It's like, yes, I've seen it happen. I know it happens. That's why I wasn't surprised. But I understand for a general audience, it's like you don't have something like that established. Like, you could have even had it be established within like the pills that Ross was taking that was leading to him becoming Red Hulk. But no, they didn't want to kill him. Which, I mean, hey, whatever. But like, yeah,
but because they want to save him for Secret Wars. But anyway. Because we need at least one raging Hulk, right? And also we can't kill off like we do all of our villains, So they have to. We spend a lot of money on Harrison Ford. We got to keep him. And you're talking about you want to reassemble the Avengers and stuff, which he got confirmed for Avengers Doomsday and everything. But again, I don't think this film is horrible, but they have some problems that we have to be honest here, because even then, there are some people who are, against legacy type characters in this form of fashion, right? They rather just have the Falcon movie than have, Captain America, him as Captain America. Now, whether you agree with that or not, the point I have the issue with this is that now with Anthony Mackie, when he's under the Russo brothers is when he thrives, right?
Yeah.
And my thing, I had almost had an opportunity to interview him last week though, but it just didn't work out because of snow. But the whole thing about being respected as the leader of Captain America, you still don't feel this because everyone's calling him Cap and all that stuff, right? But how is fellow Avengers going to respond to him as Captain America? That's what I want to see, and also want to see in terms of his leadership in terms of operating with other Avengers. But this movie to me does not solidify to me that, oh, okay, is he gonna be respected as the leader of Captain America? I want to see those dynamics, but that's also the caveat you get for not having an Avengers movie since Endgame. So where we can just have a current MCU with Avengers and let them breathe, so at least we know who this team is. Because it was several times in this movie, I'm like, where's Captain Marvel? Oh, we got a discrepancy in Tokyo. Where's Shang-Chi? Right? Oh, we got issue with the Indian Ocean. Where's Namor? Like,
right.
Like, so like even Banner interact like, hey, Ross is freaking president, the guy that's been trying to hunt you down.
Right?
How do you respond? I'm sorry. I'm like, what is Mark Ruffalo too much of an activist where you can't get him to come here? I'm sorry. Like it just I don't, and it's not about, like, I had somebody who was like, well, how can you tell me like fit Bruce Banner in this? I'm like, don't tell me how they can fit Bruce Banner. Listen,
right.
they added Howard the Duck in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's nothing that they can't do. Like,
right, there could have been multiple points where it's like either him as Bruce Banner or him as the Hulk could have came in. Hell, he could have. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been invited to the whole White House thing with that when Isaiah attacked, but he could have been there maybe after Celestial Island, or maybe he could have been, especially with Samuel Stern. Like, not just even talking about Ross, the dude who almost took away your Hulk abilities and created the Abomination, and you should know this. You don't even want to, like,
you did this whole thing with your cousin, but yet, like, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to say every Hulk needs to be in this movie, even your son with the terrible haircut, but like, but I'm like, listen, Betty Ross is here, and we're just gonna not act like, get that sense of closure and acceptance of you.
It's like you guys don't need to get back together, but it's like at least some closure.
After 16 years, like, guys, I'll make sure to hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let us know your thoughts. It's our spoiler discussion for Captain America: Brave New World. And please keep the notification bell. We got some more videos coming your way, and to address our problems with this film. But yeah, aside from that, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.